so that you have just a little bit of dirt in the bottom. So if there's any critters that eat detritus or whatever, at least they have some kind of provisions for the time you're going to check it. And then you put that right inside there like that. Then, to give them shade, because we live in an arid environment, you're going to take 3 blocks. You can do it with 3 rocks as well. And put a little bit of board over it. And a couple rocks on top to keep it level, or keep it weighted down.
That'll help you remember where you put it, too.
Sure, you can put a flag, one of those little flags with it, too, to let you know. And what this does is it not only gives it shade, but, it allows the critters to crawl underneath it, and things looking for shade, too, as the sun goes up. And then when you go to check it, always make sure your students or you, before you put your hand in there, pull the cup out. Make sure there's no rattlesnakes in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pull this out like this, so you're not putting your finger down in the hole. You want to pull this out and check for spiders, because spiders usually build their webs around the inside as critters are going in. So it's a great way to learn about spiders as predators. But it's also a great way for students to get over their fear of spiders as well. Because there's so many cool spiders out there. I used to be so deathly afraid of spiders before I started doing arthropod traps. And then I started learning about each one of the species that we have out here and realizing how really cool they are. There are only really a couple spiders in Riverside and San Bernardino and out here that you would have to be worried about. One of them is the desert recluse, which is a Loxosceles. It's like the brown recluse, only it's not nearly as venomous as the brown recluse, but everybody thinks it is. And the other one, obviously, is the black widow, which don't usually, they like to be under wood, but they don't really like to build their webs in that kind of situation. So this is kind of a really cool tool, and then you can have the students, classify them by order. And so beetles, spiders, grasshoppers, butterflies, bees. Yeah, just have them watch, obviously. With the Hymenoptera, you have to be careful because some students are, allergic. And some people don't even know sometimes when they're allergic to Hymenoptera.
What?
Hymenoptera, the bees, wasps, and ants. So you just got to be careful of that.
What is that bee?
But otherwise...
How long do you leave the traps before you check it?
Oh, thank you for reminding me, yes. This should be checked in the morning. So you can actually set it the day before you leave school and check them in the morning. And then the students are able they sit all night, and so while it gets cool, all those critters start moving, and then they move right into the trap. So you can see what you capture. And you can have differential, if you do some in a rocky area, do some under a tree, do some, right out in the middle of the open, and in different landscape types, too, in the middle of grass. We had a student who he got his doctorate, but originally he did an internship with us, and it was studying the golf courses. So the difference in the arthropods on the golf courses versus where we were today in, like, the visitor center or up in Deep Canyon. So kind of a really cool way to look at biodiversity in a very manageable situation for you guys.
What did you conclude about the distinction of the 2 areas?
Well, obviously, as you might guess, the biodiversity on the golf courses was a lot less, except in places like desert willow and bighorn. So
where they've tried to keep it as
natural as possible, yeah.